Now what are we to do? The next verse is very beautiful. If all this is ignorance, then what is knowledge? What is knowledge? That's set out so powerfully in the 24th verse. Brahmevaham samashanta, Brahmevaham samashanta, Satchidananda lakshana, Satchidananda lakshana, Naham deho hyasadrupo, Naham deho hyasadrupo, Jnanam ityuchyate buddhaihi, Jnanam ityuchyate buddhaihi. The wise say, what is knowledge? Our question is, if all this is ignorance, then what is knowledge? I am Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchidananda Lakshana. Peace, not peaceful. Shanta here means peace itself. That which is reflected in our minds as an experience of peace, the source of that I verily am. Samaha, in all conditions of life, whatever the condition of the body, whatever the condition of my external life, I am the same unchanging consciousness. Hence, I cannot be the body. He says its body is an appearance, like a dream body. Asadrupaha, and the appearance called the body, I cannot be it. This is knowledge. What we have to do, we have to affirm one, I am existence, consciousness, bliss, Brahman, Brahmevaham. I am equal serenity, Samaha Shantaha. Everywhere I am serene, I am same in all circumstances. Samaha Shanta. And what do we have to? Disaffirm, disown. Naham deha. I am not this body. Again and again and again. Because we have programmed ourselves into thinking we are this body. Whenever the occasion arises, I am not this body. It appears, it's an instrument, it has its role to play. It will change, it has been changing all my life. I can see that it's been changing, and it will continue changing, and one day it will drop off because that's the very nature of the body. It will go. The thing we have to do is not try to hold on to any of these things which arise in consciousness, because they will go away. Not try to prevent anything that is arising in consciousness, because it will come anyway. The moment we try to prevent anything which arises in consciousness, prevent in the sense that I don't want this as existence, consciousness, bliss, I am afraid of this. That's contradictory. You cannot be afraid of anything in this universe when you are existence, consciousness, bliss. So, neither resisting what is coming, nor holding on to what is going away. Samaha Shantaha. Jnanam ityuchyate buddhi. This is knowledge according to the wise. This is knowledge. If we ever feel like this, if we know this, if we understand this, and we realize this, then that is said to be knowledge, as opposed to ignorance. Now he goes further. 25th verse. Nirvikaro nirakaro, nirvikaro nirakaro, niravadyoham abhyayah, niravadyoham abhyayah, naham deho hyasadrupo, naham deho hyasadrupo, jnanam ityuchyate buddhaihi, jnanam ityuchyate buddhaihi. Nirvikara, I am without any change. Nirakara, without form. Niravadya, beyond sin actually, not blemished by any sin. Abhyayaha, not subject to decay and not subject to being diminished or reduced. Abhyayaha. I am. But what am I not? I am not the body. Asadrupaha. Asadrupaha, the appearance of the body. I am not the appearance. This appearance called the body. This is knowledge. Such is knowledge. Wise declare this to be knowledge. Jnanam ityuchyate buddhi. Verse number 31. Aham shabdena vikhyata, aham shabdena vikhyata, eka eva sthitah paraha, Eka eva sthitah parah sthulatvanekatam praptah sthulatvanekatam praptah katham syad dehakah puman katham syad dehakah puman. Aham shabdena vikhyata eka eva sthitah parah. That which is indicated or denoted by the word, by the term I mean by the vertical I, that means I myself. That is one and that is transcendent, paraha, that exists in its own transcendent glory. The body is gross. Gross not in the sense that the body is very fat or it's ugly, not in that sense. It's physical. It's physical. In that sense it's gross. Sthula means gross or physical. And manifold, it's made of many parts or there are many bodies. The I, the self, is one. So how can the self be the body? That's the question, that's the statement. What's going on here? The whole analysis which has been going on for quite some time now is distinguishing between the self and the not self. The self is Atma and the not self is Anatma, not self. Primarily the problem is with the body. We consider the body to be the self. When I say I usually indicate this is me, this is who I am, that's the body. So to distinguish myself from the body is the first task, and it's actually the major task. Once that is done, once we are convinced, we begin to understand, we begin to see that we are not the body. The rest of Advaita, Vedanta, is not all that difficult. What is the nature of the self? Who are we really? Take a look first. We don't really know who we are. We don't really know what's within us. Take a look first and you will begin to appreciate for yourself that you are not the body. It's a remarkable thing when you begin to see it for the first time. And afterwards it becomes very natural. But that I am not the body, though I am right here in the body and I function through the body and I transact in the world through the body. And yet I am not this particular this body. I transcend it. The word transcend is also important. Transcend does not mean that here is the body and you are somewhere else. It's not that. It's not like that you have some kind of smoky, spooky essence outside the body. You are right here in the body and yet you are untouched by the body. It's like this. It's like space. Everything is in space, but space is not touched by anything. The Sanskrit word is very, very precise. Asanga. Here, transcend would mean asanga. Asanga means untouched, unattached. So, we have to look within. It's most important. Vedanta, the path of spirituality. Why Vedanta? The path of spirituality is a path where you have to take a look within and to see what is there within us. The point is to look within. Who am I? And this verse tells us, Aham shabdena vikhyata. That which is very well known. The word I is the most commonly used word. We all say I. But what does the word I refer to? I is a word, a term, a linguistic term. When I say glass, the word glass, it's a word, but it refers to this thing. When I say book is a word, but it refers to this thing. When we say I, what does it refer to? Does it refer to this body? That's what we usually say. I, this body. And this verse tries to tell us it cannot be so. One reason, he says, ekaha, it's one. Now what does that mean? Let's consider that. This world is full of diversity. So many things, so many people. Take every sense organ. All the things that you see in this room, if you start counting, hundreds of things, people, colors, shapes, objects, hundreds. You can count so many things in this very room. All of them, all the diversity is reduced to one thing, light which you see with your eyes. All the smells that we smell, all kinds of fragrances and good smells and bad smells, all of that is sensed by one sense organ, the nose. All the sound, the variety of sounds that we experience, that we hear throughout the day, throughout our lives, all of that finally is reduced to sound which comes to the ears, the same sense organ, the auditory sense organ, one sense organ. Entire plurality, multitude of sounds is reduced to that one sense organ. And so on. The 5 sense organs, they sense a vast multitude in the world and they reduce it to sense inputs. And all the 5 sense organs with all their inputs, it all comes down to the mind. Finally comes to the mind, the one internal organ. It's called Antakarana in Vedanta, the internal organ. All of it comes to the mind. See, all of different kinds of impulses poured into the mind. And all the thoughts in the mind, thousands of thoughts in the mind, all of them are presented to you, the one I. Think about it. The extent, the spectrum of it. The one I is experiencing thousands and thousands of thoughts, memories, ideas, feelings in one day. All those thoughts refer to millions and millions of sense inputs from 5 sense organs, and also to memories which are dredged up from the past. And each sense organ again synthesizes millions and millions of external inputs coming into the sense organ. All of that, this enormous diversity, is finally presented to one, which is the one, the I. You, the I. There's enormous diversity in the world outside. There's enormous diversity in this body. So many parts of the body, so many organs of the body, so many sense organs, so many things happening in the body, so much diversity in the mind. All of them have enormous diversity, but all of it is presented to one unit, you. Now the argument here is, do you see the enormous difference between you and the rest of it? You are one. The argument, it goes around this just one term, one. You are one. The enormity of the world around you, the diversity, is presented to you. A diversity, the multitudes are presented before you, the one. So you are one. The world is many, the body is divided into many parts and many functions, sense organs, mind, so many things are going on. All of them are diverse. You the one, how can you be the many? This is the argument. You the one, how can you be the many? These are clearly 2 opposite things. So how can this one be the body? Then verse number 32. Aham drashtritaya siddho, aham drashtritaya siddho, deho drishyataya sthitah, deho drishyataya sthitah, mamayam iti nirdeshat, mamayam iti nirdeshat, katham syad deha kaf puman, katham syad deha kaf puman. I am the knower, drashta. The body is the known, and drishya, an object. You can see a variation on the same argument. Very clearly, I am the knower of the body. As I am the knower of the world, I know the glass. Do I say I am the glass? No. That would be silly. I know the body, but I say I am the body. So the body is an object. Deho drishyataya sthitah. And we say, it is my body. I am not the body. You see, this question of holding on to something. Guru and his disciple were once walking. And the disciple was just telling the Guru, oh, samsara has caught me. I'm caught by samsara, by the world. Please free me from samsara. And they were walking. The Guru walked up to a particularly big tree and held it, embraced it tight and said, oh, the tree has caught me. Free me from the tree. Free me from the tree. The tree has caught me. And the disciple was flabbergasted. And then he said, But Swami, the tree doesn't catch anybody. You are catching you are catching the tree. Let go. The Guru said, no, the tree has caught me. Free me from the tree. Even the more you tug the Guru, this pretty hefty, strong Guru, you can't really take him away from the tree. What can the poor disciple do? If only you could you just let go of your death grip on the tree, then you'll be free. It'll be all right. So, how can I be this body? I'm holding on to the body like the Guru was holding on to the tree. But I'm not this body. It's an object of experience. 33rd verse. Aham vikarahi nastu, aham vikarahi nastu, deho nityam vikaravan, deho nityam vikaravan, iti pratiyate sakshat, iti pratiyate sakshat, katham syad deha kaf puman. Katham syad deha kaf puman. What does he say here? I know myself directly to be beyond all change, and the body is constantly changing. And this is a direct fact. So how can I be the body? I who am changeless, and the body which is continuously changing, how can they be one and the same? What does this mean? Our first objection will be, of course I am not changeless. I'm changing. I've changed over, I have become a much wiser person. Question mark, others will put a question mark. But I feel that. I have become a wiser person, maybe a better person. I have become an older person. So I've changed. I was a kid and a teenager and a middle-aged person. I'm an old person. So I've changed. But have we? Let's look clearly. Let's look at it. Shankaracharya claims directly you can see that we do not change. It's only the body which changes. Traditionally, you speak of the sixfold changes of the body. Jayate is born. Asti, after being born, they say that coming into existence, that itself is a change. Asti means now it's existing. What was not there is there now. So that person is there, that body is there now. Vardhate, it grows. Childhood, teenage. From a tiny little baby, it grows to this 6-footer, big and heavy and bulky and strong. Vardhate. And then you reach a peak. I was having some physical problems and I asked the doctor and he smiled and he said, Swami, you have hit the 40s. Viparinamate, or the 40s have hit you. You reach a peak after which you don't develop any further, things don't get better, they just keep changing, if you're lucky. And then inevitably, apakshiyate, deterioration, physical deterioration. The body starts deteriorating. Aches and pains and this problem and that problem and more, you start looking at your medical coverage and that happens. Deterioration, over years and years it deteriorates, it gets worse. It ain't going to get any better, so it gets worse. And then finally, inevitably one day, nashyati, death. So, 6-fold changes. And these 6-fold changes are supposed to be universal for everybody. But what Shankaracharya says here is, take a look. What is undergoing these 6-fold changes? Very obviously the body. It is the body which was born. It is the body which grew, came into existence and became a little child and a teenager. Aren't you the same person who as a baby learned to walk, who was the teenager, who was the young person in school or college, and the middle-aged person with a career and a family? Aren't you the same person? Do you say, no, somebody else went to college and somebody else has got this job? No, the same person. The body is changing. You are the observer, the unchanged indweller of the body. Every change, growth, deterioration, aging, clearly applies to the body. Have you ever seen gray hairs on consciousness? No, gray hairs in the body. And when you go to the doctor, it's the body which gets us checkup and which gets treatment. Consciousness is just aware of it. So, the body changes. anger comes in the mind, a flash of irritation. And maybe we say something out of anger. And then after some time, we regret it. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. Regret. See, the mind has gone from calmness to irritation to anger to regret. Changing. Who was calm earlier? You. Your mind, you are the witness of the calm mind. Who irritated? The mind. And you were the same person, the same witness of that irritated mind. Who became angry and said harsh words? The mind with the help of the body. And you are the consciousness indwelling in the same body and mind. And who felt regret? Where was regret? Regret was in the mind. So the mind is continuously changing. And you know the changes of the mind. The changes, anger and regret are in the mind, not in you. And this is directly felt. It's not a theoretical argument. This is what we know. We just don't pay attention to it. And Shankaracharya is drawing our attention to a fact which it's just staring at us in the face. It's there in front of us. It's the mind which is changing. Time changes. You spend time, before that, it is a while ago it was afternoon, now it's evening, very soon it will be night, and very soon it will be day again. Place changes. You were out there driving on the freeway, and now you're sitting here. Very soon you'll be out back, moving back to your home. Place is changing. Objects are changing. You are seeing this hall now, you are seeing all these people now. After some time you will see other people in other places, other things back at home. Time changes, place changes, objects change. In Sanskrit, desha kala vastu. You do not change. Our states change. Waking fades into sleep and dream. Dream fades into deep sleep. And from deep sleep we wake up again. The states are changing. In Sanskrit, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Again Jagrat. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep, again waking. You do not change. You are the unchanged observer of the changing states. So, how can you, this completely unchanging entity, the observer of all changes, you are not changing. The exchange that we experience all the time, and we say we do change, you will see all of those changes which we attribute to ourselves, that I have changed over the years. When we attribute change to ourselves, you will note that each of those changes belongs either to the physical body, belongs to the world, to your relatives, to your co-workers, to your place where you live, belongs to the physical body, belongs to the subtle body, mind, not to you. So he says, it's nothing to be proved. It's nothing very theoretical. It's no great spiritual experience to have. It is a well-known fact. If we would just look at it, it's a well-known fact. So, sakshat, pratiyate sakshat. It is evident to us that all changes are in the world, in the body, and in the mind. And you are the one which notices all these changes. How can you be the body? Now another quotation, 36. Asanga purushah prokto, asanga purushah prokto, brihadaranya picha, brihadaranya picha, ananta malasam slishta, ananta malasam slishta, katham syad deha kaf puman, katham syad deha kaf puman. This quotation is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It's the biggest of the Upanishads. Of the major Upanishads, the biggest one is the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is from the Shukla Yajurveda. And the famous great sentence, Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, is from this Upanishad, from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In this Upanishad, it is said, Asanga Purusha. It's a quotation. Asangoyam Purusha. This self is unattached to anything. The self is not attached to anything. In contrast, he says, Anantamala samslishta deha. The body is attached or is mixed with so many impurities, endless. What impurities? Shankaracharya says, Anantam, endless impurities. But the Purusha, the self, is completely unattached to anything in this universe. Think about it. Time changes, place changes. You are the same unchanged witness of changing time and place. The body ages, moves about. You are the same unchanged witness. We have this waking world, we have this dream world, we have the blankness of deep sleep, and again the waking world. None of them are attached to you. They come and go. We think, I am this body. You forget it when you go to sleep. What is our experience when we are sleeping? When we are dreaming, what is our experience? Is our experience that I am on a bed and dreaming? No. Completely forgotten the body. And our experience is a dream world. People, events, things are happening. A different time and a different place. And have forgotten the body completely, which is lying on the bed. So you, the experiencing self, you are not attached to anything in this world. The whole world, waking world, you forget when you go to sleep. And this body itself, so dear to us, we completely forget each time we go to sleep. Completely, we lose sight of it. You may say, oh, but the body is there, isn't it? It may be there for you. You watch the person who's sleeping. But as the person who's sleeping, what is he or she experiencing? At that point, he or she is experiencing something else entirely, a dream. And in deep sleep, even the dream ceases. Blank. Experience of darkness. So, this self is completely unattached. You see, when in Vedanta they expect us to practice detachment. Anasakti. They are actually basing this teaching on a fact which already exists. They are only asking us to be true to the facts. What we are doing, on the other hand, being attached to the world and calling it all sorts of things. I love this, I hate that. These are both love and hate are attachments. All of these are false, because even if we hold on to something, somebody, some relationship, some property, some set of ideas, we think they are mine and I'm holding on to them. Every night they disappear. No guarantee they'll come back the next day. We do not recognize it. It happens all the time. We do not recognize it. We are actually unattached. The truth is about the real self right now. You'll say, oh, the self, the Purusha, the pure consciousness is unattached. But I, Swami, have a big problem with attachment. You do not. You do not. I often give this very graphic example. Think of the greatest possible human attachment is a young mother with her child. A young mother with her child. The greatest possible attachment is necessary also, otherwise how can children be taken care of? But this greatest possible attachment also, when that mother goes to sleep finally at night, she forgets everything, the world, her most precious baby, her own body, everything is forgotten when she blissfully slips into sleep. It's such a natural process that we do not think twice about it. She does not go into sleep kicking and screaming, oh, I'm losing sight of my baby. No. Very happily. They assure me that the one thing that young mothers crave most is sleep. So, they very happily go into sleep. Which means the greatest attachment also, we are willing to forget for some time. What a strange thing. So really speaking, asangoyam purusha, the Purusha, the real self is not attached. And what about the body? The body is attached to just about everything. It is attached to the world because it needs food from the world to exist. It's made of food, annamaya. It needs air. We need to continuously breathe. Little change in air pressure, little change in temperature, little change in the environment, we could die. I remember in India, when they would give the weather report, they would mention the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. And I would think, why do they do that? It's not very useful. Well, it's not useful in India. It's when I came to this country, I realized it can be a matter of life and death. Not in California. Not in California, but say in the Midwest, in Chicago or somewhere. It could be a matter of life and death. Do you want to know what the minimum temperature is? Is it 70 or is it 7? It could be a huge difference. So, our bodies are completely integrated with this environment. They are attached. They are part of this environment. It is not unattached. And he says impurities, ananta mala, inside and outside. A biologist is describing all kinds of critters living on this body. We are not aware. You'd get this creepy, crawly feeling if we would only know what is surviving on our skins. Millions and millions of tiny beings. I don't know if Shankaracharya was aware of germs and mites and so many little kinds of creatures survive on us. We have whole colonies of living beings are attached to our bodies. And inside the body, well, forget it. Even the most beautiful body, most Hollywood body, is full of such a mess that we would run away if we would see it actually uncovered, what exists within the body. There's a Buddhist meditation that when a body dies and is thrown in, if there's a rotting corpse, it's supposed to sit and meditate and watch it for a few days rotting in the open. As it bloats and corrupts and stinks and finally begins to melt back into the earth, you watch, sit and watch. Pretty tough meditation. Ananta mala samslishta. This body is full of all kinds of impurities. That's why we have to keep taking baths. So, ananta mala samslishta. Katham syad deha kah puman. How can the body be the self? The unattached self, pure consciousness, and this body which is connected to so many impurities, how can they be one and the same? Impossible. Well, when you say, well, when you put it like that, Swami, it seems impossible. But all the time I feel I am the body. One more quotation from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Tatraiva cha samakhyata, tatraiva cha samakhyata, swayam jyotirhi purushaha, swayam jyotirhi purushaha, jada paraprakashoyam, jada paraprakashoyam, katham syad deha kah puman, katham syad deha kah puman. This is from a very important part of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad called the Swayam Jyoti, the Jyotir Brahmana, talking about the effulgent, conscious nature of the self. The self is always experienced as self-effulgent. What does it mean? For knowing anything in the world, we require a source of knowledge, an instrument of knowledge. You can ask the question, how do you know? You've come to this class, and if they asked you, was the Swami there in the class? You say, yeah. And somebody can ask you, how do you know? You'll say, I saw him. I saw him. Somebody asks you, were you there in the class? You'll say, of course I was. And if somebody asks, how do you know? How do you know that you are in the class? Will you say, oh, I can see myself? The teacher is asked, were all the students present in the class? Yes. How do you know? I did a roll call. I took attendance of the students, and I saw the attendance sheets, and I saw everybody's name was there, and they were all present. And how do you know you were there? Will the teacher say, I looked at my name and I saw I was present? No. Your own presence, your own existence does not require any proof. In Sanskrit, pramana. Pramana means source of knowledge. Did you see it, or did you hear it? Did you read about it? About your own existence, about the existence of anything in this universe. It could be black holes or quarks or blue whales, or it could be God. Anything in this universe or beyond this universe, you need a source of knowledge. You can ask, how do you know? except one thing. You yourself. You do not need a source of knowledge, a pramana, because you reveal yourself spontaneously. This is called swaprakasha, or in the language of the Upanishad, swayam jyoti, its own light. In the Kathopanishad we find, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. That shining, everything else shines. You might say, good for that. That means you. You shining, everything else in the universe shines. How does everything else in the universe shine? Because you operate the pramanas, the sources of knowledge. Pratyaksha, you operate the eyes. You operate the ears. You operate the nose and the tongue. You operate the mind. Operate means by in your presence, in the presence of consciousness. All these work, reveal themselves and reveal everything else in the universe. The eyes reveal forms. You can see. The ears reveal sound. Now you can see me, you can hear me. Why? Because your eyes are open and your ears are functioning. Behind them your mind is functioning, hopefully. And behind the mind and the sense organs, you are ever there. Because of your presence, all of these function. They are all revealed by you. Suppose you say, I need some another consciousness to reveal myself. Then what will happen? Then how will that consciousness reveal itself? You need another consciousness to reveal that. And for that another consciousness, it's called regressus ad infinitum. Anavastha dosha in Sanskrit. But consciousness reveals itself straight away. It does not need another consciousness to reveal itself. So, now look at the body. Does the body reveal itself? Or does it reveal itself to your consciousness? Your consciousness reveals the body, is it not so? My body. Who is aware of the body? Am I aware of the body, or is the body aware of me? That would be weird and scary. The body suddenly says hello. Yeah. I am aware of the body. Look at, just feel it. I am something here in this body which is aware of the body. I can see the body, feel the body. So the body depends upon your consciousness, you the consciousness, for being known. This is called paraprakasha. In Sanskrit the word is chaitanya, consciousness, and jada, non-conscious, insentient, inert. Everything apart from consciousness is jada. Jada means insentient. Everything, follow this carefully, everything apart from consciousness depends upon consciousness for its revelation, for being known. But consciousness itself does not depend on anything for being known. Consciousness reveals itself spontaneously. This is the difference between you, the consciousness, and the body. Then how can you be the body? Body does not reveal itself spontaneously unless you are aware of it. Think about it. You don't even have to use the mind to be aware. This is a very subtle point. You don't even have to use the mind to be aware of your own existence. In fact, when you are not using the mind, if you're listening to me very carefully, you are not thinking about yourself. You're listening to me very carefully. But when you're existing all the time, your existence, of course, you don't have to think that I exist. No. When you are deeply concentrated, you can give your mind, 100% of your mind to the task. Maybe you're listening to music, maybe you're doing some work which requires concentration. At that time, when you're not even thinking about your own existence, your own existence is continuously, spontaneously, without a break, revealing itself, shining forth. If only you think about it later on, yes, I was always shining forth. So this shining forthness, if I may use this word, is what we really are. And the body is not that. The body, if you pay attention to it, you are aware of it. If you don't pay attention to it, you are not aware of it. So body cannot be the self. Descartes, the famous French mathematician, philosopher, he started by thinking the great Descartesian project. What is indubitable? Let me doubt everything. The world exists, it could be an illusion. The body exists, well, it could be an illusion. I could be dreaming. It could be a hallucination. Today he would have said virtual reality. It could be. But what he cannot deny was, I'm aware of my own thoughts. So he said, the famous cogito statement, cogito ergo sum, that means I think, therefore I am. A Vedantin would slightly modify this statement, would say, I am, therefore I think. My I amness is always revealing itself. I often do not notice it, but it's always revealing itself. I am, therefore I think. Cogito ergo sum. There's a joke about it. Descartes goes to a cafe in Paris, and the waitress comes and asks, Monsieur Descartes, one more cup of coffee? I'm sure in French she must have asked, one more cup of coffee? And he says, I think not. And he disappeared. Because I think, therefore I am. So if I think not, then I disappear. Philosophy jokes. These are insider jokes for philosophy. One more verse, we'll do this, and then I'll open it up for question answers, because it's all connected to this. One part of the Vedas is called Karma Kanda. What we are doing here is Upanishads, Vedanta. This is the knowledge portion, which reveals to us the reality about ourselves. But before this is what is conventional religion. Today in Hinduism we have elaborate temples and pujas. And in ancient times, even before the age of the Puranas, in the Vedic times, they had elaborate fire sacrifices. So that part which dealt with the fire sacrifices is called Karma Kanda, the ritual portion. Now he's saying, he's going to quote from the Karma Kanda, again with the same objective. Even in the Karma Kanda, in the conventional religion, you have to see that you are not the body. Let's see. Proktopi karma kandena Proktopi karma kandena Hyatma dehad vilakshanaha Hyatma dehad vilakshanaha Nityascha tatphalam bhungte Nityascha tatphalam bhungte Deha padadanantaram Deha padadanantaram. In Karma Kanda, in the ritualistic portion, what has been said? Surely the self is different from the body. You see, in Vedanta or in Indian philosophy, we speak of a tripartite nature of the human personality. Physical body, gross body, subtle body, and consciousness, the self. The real self, subtle body, and the physical body. So we have two bodies. One is the physical body and one is the subtle body. We ask, which is the subtle body? It's always evident to us. When you are thinking, when you are remembering, that's the mind, memory. When you are feeling emotions, when you are breathing, prana, that's the prana. When you are hungry, that's prana. These are all part of the subtle body. At death, what happens? The physical body dies, but the subtle body goes to other realms and is reborn again. So all Indian philosophies, except the materialist Charvaka, all Indian philosophies, whether they are Hindu or Buddhist or Jain or Sikh, they all accept physical body and a subtle body which goes from realm to realm and from birth to birth, body to body, and beyond that the self. Now, the ritualistic portion of the Vedas promised that if you were a very good person in this life, then after death, that means the subtle body, the the Jivatman, would go to heaven. And afterwards, after some time, you'd be reborn and you'd get a good birth. If you are good and you perform lots of these rituals, they have so many kinds of different rituals. You earn merit. You have got lots of credit with your bank, the cosmic bank. So God is conceived as a kind of cosmic banker who keeps credit of your good deeds and bad deeds. And we get rewarded according to our good deeds, and we suffer because of our bad deeds. Swami Vivekananda, good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. But he also said, but far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. Pure consciousness, the self, is ever free, not touched by either good or bad. But here, in the Karma Kanda, ritualistic portion, they are all about good deeds. So if you do good deeds, moral deeds, and ritualistic religious deeds, you are assured of a happy post-mortem life. Promised. But God is an honest. So suppose you say, suppose I don't get it, then whom do I catch hold of? Because I'll be dead. I can't catch the priest. I can't go to the guru and catch him. That you taught me this thing and I did it, and I don't like what I got after death. But then God is an honest cosmic banker. So we get what we deserve. That's the point. But why is Shankaracharya quoting that here? He's making one point. If we say that after death we'll go to heaven and get the results, we are doing so much of ritual, so many good deeds, and we expect some kind of reward afterwards, it means I do not die with the death of the body. It means I exist after the death of the body. Who else will get the reward? Because the body is gone at death. Therefore, I am not the body. That's the only thing Shankaracharya is interested in. He says, even according to your conventional religion. Now, it's not only the Vedic ritualists. Think about it. Every religion in the world has one thing in common, in spite of their massive differences, has one thing in common. They hold on to this fact that there is some post-mortem existence. Without that, you cannot have religion. Every religion of the world. You see? They will claim that something exists after death. So post-mortem existence is the very foundation of any kind of religious faith. What Shankaracharya wants to say is that, whatever that may be, I am interested in only one thing. If you have any kind of belief in any kind of religion, then you have to admit you are not the body. Because the body dies. It's burnt or buried. I don't know how many of you know the Parsis, the ancient Zoroastrians whom I mentioned. They have a very interesting ritual. They have the towers of silence, where they leave the bodies on high towers and the birds eat them up, the vultures and all. So it's a very ancient custom. Nowadays I hear they're in trouble because of pollution. All the vultures are dead. So who's going to eat up the bodies? In India there's a big problem. So we are not the body, even according to conventional religion. Till this point, Shankaracharya has given us a battery of arguments, reasoning from experience, and also quotations from various scriptures, and also pointing out that any kind of religious belief means that you must believe, if you are really sincere about religious belief, you must believe that you are not the body. Because the body will die, then who is the one who goes to heaven or hell or whatever? So, this is the conclusion. Now, I am not the physical body. The reason I did not go on to the next one, the next verse will take a whole class. In the next verse, he is going to give us, I think, 6 or 7 reasons why I am not the mind. And they are all very subtle arguments. In one verse, he is going to point out, right, I am not the physical body, but I am not the mind also. I am something different from the mind, the witness of the mind. And he's going to show that, not with quotations, not quoting scriptures. He's actually directly going to show you the mind is a thing just like this, an object. So it will take a full class. We'll do that later.